Good day, my beautiful people. You are welcome to the third week of our video editing masterclass. My name is Paul Gertzman, and we won't be able to go into some recaps. And I will just advise that you go through the previous videos and watch again, refresh your memory. And I hope that you guys have been practicing and practicing. So today we are just going to dive into the business of the day and learn something new and great. It's getting more interesting day by day, right? All right. So I promise you that at the end of today's class you would have learned how to add audio and video effects, and also you will have learned how to do basic animations. So these are the things that we'll be doing today. They are very interesting stuff, and I just want you to stay put, just focused, don't be distracted while you watch what we're about to do. All right, as you can see that this is our empty interface, right? Our interface rather is our interface. The sequence have been created. We have our timeline, we have our media panel. All right, so now I think I should start from audio effect. Now about audio effects, majority of editors don't have to do a lot on audios because you are not a sound mixer. So most of the things that will be expected to be done on audios would have been done in the studio. That is, if you are working with a studio audio, right? But for some of us who just want to bring in music for underlay, or some of us who just want to work with voiceover that you made from your phone or a mini device, right? So you can just do some little tweaking up and there, or here and there. All right, so let's dive into Premiere Pro, and on my media panel I already have an audio that I want to make use of, right? Just for the sake of this class. All right, so I'll just drag that into my A channel, which is audio channel, and I hope that you guys have learned about how to organize your media space right here. Please always do that. Always organize your media. Make sure that the video footages are going into the video folder, the audios are going into the audio folder, so that to make your project very organized. All right, so now this is my audio. You can see that I have right there, I have a source and I have audio effect. So at this point in time, we're going to be working with audio effect. Effect controls a lot of time because we are getting advanced in video editing. So we are going to be working with effect controls all the time, because that is where we control all effects that we will be adding. That is where we control them from. Okay, so now, like I said, the basic for audio, the basic thing you want to do to your audio on your audio is to increase or reduce the volume. Let's say that you want to use an underlay music on your project. So the only thing you do is to reduce the volume so that the voiceover can be heard. Right, so that the voiceover can be heard. Or better still, you just need a loud music to blast on your video or your image. So just come to your volume this particular space, this particular arrow or greater than, just drop it down, then you'll see a level. You see level. So this level is to adjust the volume. If you click here, I'm not clicking yet, so please, if you click here and drag up and drag to the right, so that is you increasing the volume. If you click here and drag to the left, that is you reducing the volume. But before I do that, there is something that is right here, which is called stopwatch. This thing is called stopwatch in motion graphics or in After Effects. It's called stopwatch. Stopwatch is used to create animation. It is used to create movement, right? So right here, we are not trying to create any animation, but it is still on. So we will go ahead and switch it off, right? So when we get to animation proper, we will explain more about the work or the usage of this stopwatch to animate. All right, so make sure that you turn it off first to tell the system that you are not animating. After turning it off, then you can now come and increase to 6 or to 5 or to 4 dB. So the maximum is 6, and you can reduce to the barest minimum, which is 285.5 dB minus. All right, so at least if you don't want to hear anything at all, if you want to hear slightly, you can go around 55, 45, 30 something, depending on how you want it to be. All right, so that is just that about adjusting the volume of your audio to fit into your project. And right now, when you bring in your audio to your file, to your project, and you go to effect controls, this is what you have automatically. This comes with the audio, right? But in some cases where you just want to, probably the audio isn't loud enough, even after increasing it, it's still not that loud enough, and you want to increase it the more, then you now have to come to your effects here. So this is where all our effects are installed, all our plugins are installed. So you click it, but in case you cannot find effects right here on this setup, you can click on this arrow, so you'll see everything here. You just click on your effects, and you can see audio transitions and audio effects. You can see audio effect and audio transition. Or where we are going right now is audio effects. So you can see a lot of effect that you can still add up to your, or add on your audio clip to do a lot of whatever you want to do. This is pitch shifter. So for this pitch shifter, like I said, not every one of us have a need of this, but just to tell you how to use them. So whatever effect that you want to use, just click, hold and drag to your on your audio clip. So immediately you drag on your audio clip, it appears on the effect controls. So this is where you control the effect. All right, so this is where you control the effect. Then you come to edit and try and adjust the pitch to the right or to the left. If you want it to be higher or to be lower in pitch, this is where you control that. So you just play around with it and see how it fits to your project. Do you understand? All right, so if you are an artist, or if you are a producer and you want to add some auto tunes to your voice, this is where you do that. So you just drag auto tune assets to your timeline, and you wait until it displays the editing. All right, so it's already here. So you can see that we have audio, auto tone access right here, and you click edit to edit it. So you can basically, you cannot add auto tone to voicing, not really like that, but to music, yeah. So this is where you change the key. You change the key to where you have to the key you sang on, and you do some little tweaking. Like I said, this is not a place to mix or master audio. You have done that in the studio space. All right, so I'll just go ahead and close this because we do not need this. So this is just how you go about adding effects to your audio. And like I said, if you still don't feel that the audio is loud enough, you can come down and add another volume. What we have up here is volume, right, which we have increased to the maximum, and it's still not audible enough. Then we come back here and drag this volume again to our audio. And you can see it has added another audio to our effect controls. Then we can now increase from here as well. Then it will have been more louder than the previous one. I hope we get the explanation of this. All right, so like I said, we don't have to do a lot of things with the audio, just basic. All right, so going to video effect. We do not have any video to work on right here, but I will just use any image in place of video. So whatever we can do on a picture or an image, we can also do on a video clip. So I'll just drag this right to my timeline. All right, so when I click it, it jumps to here. Make sure that you click your effect controls to see where you want to adjust or add effect. All right, so you see my screen, because what I brought in is smaller than the sequence settings of my dimension. All right, my screen is bigger than the image I brought in, so it is not fitting, right? So the first thing I would just like to do right here is to scale it up to fit the screen. And it's also an effect. It's also called an effect on in Premiere Pro. So coming to effect controls for video right now, the basic are the motion, the opacity, and time remapping. The basic for the audio are just the volume, right? But the basic for the video are motion and opacity, basically. So now under motion, drop this down and see the options under it. So under motions, we have position, we have scale, we have rotation, and we have rotation. So these are also the basic animations that we would be learning at the later time of today's class. So, but for now, what I just want to do is to scale this image up to fit the screen. All right, so I'm just going to drag this 100% from 100% to wherever percent. All right, so I have it fill my screen right now, and I'm good with this. So this is my video. All right, so now we want to try and add some effects on this particular one. One of the effects that you can add is tint effect, and tint is turning your video to a black and white version. All right, so you go to your effect. We are done with audio, so I can just go up and close that up. We are done with audio, so I'll just close that up. So I go to effect, or better still, if you know the effect you want to use, you know the name, it is easier to type it on this, in this search box right here, and say tint, and it brings out the tint, which is under color correction. So tint is under color correction. If you don't know the name, you would have to go search for it manually under video effect. So this is our video effect. I just open up the drop down, I go, like I said, that one, the tint is under video color correction, and I open up color correction as well. Then I look for tint, and I drag to my on my video clip. So automatically it has turned my video to black and white. All right, so if you also want to undo, you can press Ctrl Z, right? Yeah, anyway, you can press Ctrl Z to undo whatever you have done. But right here, for future purposes, you might want to refer back to this effect, but right now you don't want to see it. Just come to your tint under the effect controls, come to your tint effect. The effects you're seeing here actually means effect, right? Actually means effect. So when you click on it, it turns off the effect. When you click again, it turns on the effect. So if you don't want it, come here to turn it off, and then you have your colored video again. I hope this is well understood. All right, so now another thing that you might want to, another effect, like I said, we might not be able to go through all the effects. There are many, so we'll just be touching on some, and the ones that we cannot touch today, we'll find time to touch it later on in another class. But I just want to show us how to go about adding effects to our video project. Okay, now so I want to bring in another image to this timeline. So whereas, let me quickly explain this. When working with image, you can drag it to increase the length of your playback to any minute to any hour, because it is an image. It has no time in it. An image has no time in it. So you can drag it. So dragging like this actually increases the length, and dragging like this reduces the length. So you can make an image 10 seconds long on your timeline, and you can make this same image 10 hours long on your timeline, because it is an image. You can control the time, the length of it. But if it is, when you are working with video, you cannot go beyond the time, but you can go lesser of the time. You can reduce the time, but you cannot go beyond the time, because it has time with it. So, but for this image, I can increase the length of its playback. All right, so this is another image that I have on top of my background. So what I want to do right now is to make sure that I want to crop. Let me crop this upper image. Let me crop this upper image so it doesn't cover the most important part of this background. So we are going to be using cropping effect, and also we are going to be using scale to reduce the size. So first of all, let's go to our effect controls, right? And I'll go to motion. Okay, I'll go to motion. So first of all, I reduce the scale from 100% to whatever, right? So also, let's say probably we just want this area alone. We don't want the surroundings. We just want this area to be displayed. So we'll just go to, and the scaling cannot achieve that for us. Scaling will just work with what we have, reduce it or increase it, right? So but we want to crop the surroundings, so we go to effect. Like I said, if you already know what you're looking for, you just come here and type, crop. So cropping is under video effect and under transform. So you drop the crop on the particular footage that you want to crop, not the background. So you can see that under effect controls now, crop effect has appeared. So under crop effect, we have left. You want to crop to the left or crop to the top, crop from the right, crop from the bottom, and all that. And also we have feather. So we'll talk about this feather later on, but let's go to cropping from top, left, right, and bottom. So when you crop from this bottom, from this left, so you can see you are cropping from the left side. It's cropping from the left side and deleting the surroundings from the left. If you're cropping from the top, it's cropped from the top like this. All right, so cropping from the right as well, crops from here, and cropping from the bottom, crops from here, and boom, we have the aspect that we eventually need. Do we understand? All right, so feather, this feather will actually apply feather to the edge of what we have just cropped, so it won't be looking so sharp, right? So this adds feather to what we just did. So apply as much as you want, but if it is too much, it will be going back to what we have cropped away. So you can reduce it. All right, I think I'm cool with this. So, and this is video. You cannot move from your screen. You cannot move an object from your screen using your mouse. So how to now move from here is to go back to position. We use scale to reduce the other time, right? So but right now we are going to use the position effect to adjust the position of the object, right? So we position it to where we want it to be. So the first aspect of it is horizontal, and there is horizontal positioning. It moves from left to right, you can see, while the other aspect, the second aspect, is vertical positioning. It moves from down to bottom. So I'll just bring this in. So this is, like I said, these are also the basic tools we'll be using to animate when the time is right to dive into animation. We are just doing effect right now. So and when we come to animation, I think I'm still going to use this particular image to for animation. Now what we just finished right here is adding the effect and the cropping effect on our image. So you can see that we have successfully cropped the surroundings of this image, of this clip. And come to think of it, that the clip was like this. Let me bring it in, let me bring another one in. The clip was like this. Let me change the position of this particular one so that we can see what we just achieved. Let me also change the position of the smaller one so that we can see it. So this is what we brought in initially, and this is our results after adding the cropping effect. So if you want to work with cropping effect to achieve this is how to go about it. I hope this is also well understood. All right, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We are getting somewhere. All right, so let me just delete this one. So there are a couple of effects that you can add. You can just go scroll through them. Let me clean up this search. So video effects. So you can go through them. When we get to color correction, we'll be looking at this color correction, which was one of the important things that we need to know in video editing. We also have the keying, also very important. Perspective, also very, very important. I think maybe we can see this perspective. So under this perspective effect, we have the 3D, basic 3D, bevel alpha, bevel edges, drop shadow, radial shadow, and all that. So this means that you can add shadow effect to your object. So immediately, like I said, immediately you add shadow, it appears on the effect controls. Do not forget that because this is where you control the effect. So if it's getting too long, I can just collapse this. I can just collapse this. Yeah, so that my effect controls can be also neat. All right, so I have drop shadow, and the color I can change to whatever I like. I can change to white, to red, to black, right? Say okay, and I can also increase the opacity percentage. Opacity means transparency, so it is now 50% transparent by default. I can turn it to 100 to make it more visible. Okay, to make it more visible, I can change the direction, so you can see that it's changing direction, and the distance as well. I can make it far away from the object itself. All right, and I have the softness. All right, so it's beautiful. And if you want to see shadow alone, you can click this or switch it off. So yes, this is how to add shadow to your object. Let me close it down. Also, this 3D basic is a wonderful effect that I use. Yes, I just drag it to my object, and boom, I have my basic 3D here. So under the basic 3D, I have the swivel, I have the tint, I have the tilt, rather, I have distance to image and all that. But I'm going to be using the swivel, so you can see what it's giving me. It's actually sweetening me as well, the way I'm doing it. So I think I should take this motion the position back to center. All right, so and the tail is like this. So sometimes we can use this for logo, tilt them. So just play around and see what it gives you at the end of the day. All right, so that's that about that. So I think we understand very well how we can add effects to your object, your image. All right, so I think it's time to go to the basic animation. If there's something else I would like to talk about around the video effect, I would definitely come back to it, because we still have many. We have many right here. We still have its utility, transition, transform. All right, so let's go back to our media panel. So now animation. Animation is the movement of an object, movement from one place to another, movement from point A to point B. So animation can be a little bit tricky, so you have to listen carefully, right? You have to listen carefully. All right, now let me start from scaling. So I'll go to motion. Now what we want to do right now is to be able to let this object play from outside the screen and play into the screen. That is animation, like without we moving it manually. Like we'll set it, we'll program it to move from outside the screen to the screen, to the middle of the screen, right? So how do we do that? The other time I talked about, when I was explaining the effect, the audio effect, I talked about this particular toggle animation. It is called stopwatch. In After Effects motion graphics, it is called stopwatch. Like I said, stopwatch is used to create an animation. It's used to create animation. Okay, so like I said, stopwatch is used to create animation, and when you use this stopwatch, it first creates a keyframe. So now keyframe is a point that records the movement. It's a point that records the movement. So for an animation to happen, there will have to be two or more points, or two or more keyframe for animation to happen. It's just like you want to take a move. You want to move from, like you personally as a person, you want to move from point A to point B. You know that if you take one leg forward, you are still not moving until you take the second leg, then movement has happened. If you put the first leg forward, you are still on the same spot. But when you take the second step forward, you have moved, right? So the same thing applies to this. For a movement to happen, you need at least 2 points, 2 or more points. All right, now, and this stopwatch is where we can is what we use to record the movement. We use this stopwatch to record. It's like recording a movement. Then we now go and play back what we have recorded. All right, so we will use this stopwatch. So focus on this area, because an item will appear here. It's called keyframe. Appear right here. So when I click on here, so you can see that an item just appeared right here, which is called stopwatch. I mean, it is called keyframe. So this is a keyframe. So at this point in time, we are going to command this object to go out of the, to be, I mean, not to go out, to be out of the screen. All right, so we are going to record or command this object to be out of the screen. Like I said, it is still one leg movement, so we have not recorded anything. The recording starts from the second step. So like, and I said that we are going to record at this first point, first keyframe. We are going to tell this object to be outside. So how do we make it outside? How do we take it outside? We make use of this first aspect of our position. Just drag outside. Just drag outside. Drag outside. Till it's completely outside. It's completely outside. All right. So it is outside, but no animation has happened. Just I will taking something outside normally, but no animation has happened. All right. So to now make animation happen, we have to create another by moving forward a little bit. You can see I'm moving this bar, so I move my bar from this beginning of the timeline, because this is another timeline on its own, and this timeline is all about this. It's created for this object, for this footage. It is not the entire project timeline. So this timeline here is for this object that we are working on. So I move my bar forward. So, and at this point I can create another stopwatch. You can see, I mean, another keyframe. You can see that it says that add or remove keyframe. So right here we are going to click it, so you can see it creates another point for us to make our movement happen. So at this point that we just created now, we are going to command the object that we took out to come back inside, so maybe probably to be right here. You can see. So now movement has happened. Because we now have 2 points from point A to point B. So I'll take this bar to the beginning and play back to see what we have recorded. So you can see very beautiful animation we have here. So it animated from outside the screen to inside of the screen. All right, this is beautiful. Now, an animation can be fast or slow. Depending on what you want. So how do you make animation fast or slow? So the gap between the two keyframes determines the speed of your animation. If you close up the gap, if you reduce the gap rather, the animation will be faster, because you are telling the system that this thing should come in faster. So you close the gap, you reduce the gap. But if you increase the gap, it will be slower than the usual. Okay, if you want it to be extremely slow, increase the gap more, and then you have more of slow motion animation. All right, I believe we are getting this, so make sure that you try this until you get it. Yeah, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. So this is basic, and I think by next week we'll be going more into an advanced animation. We'll be animating. We'll be animating by scaling. No, this is positioning. So we'll be animating by scaling and by rotating and by opacity as well. We'll be doing those animation by next week. But I don't want to give us too much for today so that we would not be bored practicing and watching. So now I can also duplicate this on my timeline so that I can keep feeling what I just animated. So I can just duplicate this. How do I duplicate? Right here, I will just hold down Alt button on the keyboard. I'll hold down Alt button on the keyboard, then drag my stuff. I can select the two together, hold down my Alt key on the keyboard and drag, click and drag. So if you want something to keep repeating itself, something like loop, so this is how you can make it happen in Premiere Pro. I can drag, select everything together, press and hold Alt key on my keyboard, then move this. It will automatically duplicate my object towards the timeline. So let me play back. So this is what I get. After playing that one, it goes to the second one. After that one, it goes to the next one, and so on and so on and so on. So this is how to animate in Adobe Premiere Pro. Keep practicing, as I will see you guys again next week, Monday. All right, don't forget that if you have any questions, drop it on this comment section and I will attend to them accordingly. And I want to also announce that at the end of this class, maybe the following week after the end of this 4 weeks course, we'll be having a live class, a YouTube live class, where we'll be doing a live project, maybe edit a music video or something. We'll be doing something that is something live and direct, and you'll be watching it live and direct, and you'll be asking your questions and I'll be answering you accordingly. Thank you for staying tuned. Thank you for watching our videos. Make sure that you subscribe, make sure that you share this video, make sure that you like and comment, and so that you would not also miss it when we come live or when we upload another video. I believe you have been learning a lot from this course. I'm proud of you. Just go ahead and practice, go ahead and be creative, go ahead and create your own video. Tag me whenever you are uploading, and I will give my reviews. Thank you very much. I remain your humble instructor, Paul Godsman. Thank you again for watching.